What a good girl.
Oh, good. All right. Morning.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome to another episode of Be Fucking For Real. I am Selena Michelle, and this is Lilith Siren. How are
Hello.
you doing today? Where have you been, Loca?
I have been healing a lot better. My humidifier is almost halfway full after a day, which is disgusting.
It's crazy.
It is very disgusting. But I guess I'm gonna get an I'm gonna get an air purifier to kind of help out with that. So now, but I feel
Yeah,
better since I've been doing that combined with the window. And then I learned a crazy ass today.
this is an important women's health fact. All of the and people with vaginas and uteruses, everybody listen up.
Shout out to my best friend, platonic wife and partner, Brittany. Apparently, um, whenever you take a dose like Mucinex, you increase your chances of getting fucking pregnant just from taking Mucinex. And I have taken a total of 4 bottles in the past 2 weeks. Um, and I was wondering during activities why I was bleeding a little bit, and I've been really close to my period, so I was like, maybe that's what it is. But it was like this really pinky color and like really weird. It wasn't weird, but it was a little bit different. But women's bodies are weird, so I wasn't thinking too much of it. I have the IUD, um, but apparently Mucinex wears down also the mucus in your cervix.
I mean, I get like it makes sense because I guess it can't choose where, like it can't localize where it's decreasing the mucus in your body. It's just meant to decrease the mucus in your body.
Yeah.
Usually you use it when you're sick so you don't think about it. That is something that I never ever thought about.
That's probably why these women get pregnant right after they're sick too. They're like, I was sick and then I got pregnant. And now I wasn't sure. I didn't know because I was sick for so long. Yeah, you took 50 bottles of Mucinex and fucked some guy for Christmas, and then next thing you know, you got fucking pregnant during flu season.
Oh god.
So that's why Scorpios exist, because fucking flu season happened and you fuck some guy because you want Mucinex, and then the next thing you know, there's Scorpio babies popping up everywhere. That's what happens. So I was
Crazy.
wondering why I was bleeding, because I was like, I've never had bleeding like that before. Like, it wasn't bad bleeding, but I was just like, that immediate during sex, I've never had it in my life.
Yeah.
So to just let you know, just letting you know.
That's important information for us to know.
Yeah, and
Although it doesn't matter for me because I cannot get pregnant, but
yeah,
it's good to know.
good to know. And the fun fact about watching this video, you'll never know when I posted this or who I slept with, because we posted stuff so ahead of time. You never know. You never know.
You never know.
Some schmuck's gonna be watching this and being like so offended.
She's talking about me. No, probably not.
But yeah. So that's what I learned today. Um yeah, and from the last episode, we haven't filmed too much in between the episodes. Um,
Yeah.
because fun fact, this is going to be an episode we were gonna do 2 episodes for Juneteenth and for Pride, doing 2 gay books and 2 black movies. But we loved the fucking book so much that we read, that I chose, then now I had to separate that video into 2 separate videos. So this will be episode 3 released for this month.
Yeah.
Hence why I said you will never know who the fuck I slept with at this point, because this is the 3rd time we fucking filmed it.
Yeah.
But
Thank God we haven't had any like technical difficulties this month because I simply would have just thrown my computer away.
I would have. I've already finished the first part. The audio is
Okay.
done.
Awesome.
Good. We're all good in the hood. So I'll be editing like a motherfucker at home. The only time I'm going outside is to work and lay out at the lake, which I did today, which was super nice.
Did you see the lake cats or whatever, swamp cats?
No, honestly, the last month ever since I've gotten back from Georgia, I haven't heard the ones in the lake, and I'm not sure it's because people are fishing a lot more often now, or they just do something different in the summer. That's what I'm thinking. Is probably they migrate somewhere else during the summer.
Probably.
So I don't think they stay at the lake during the summer, or this part of the lake during the summer, because again, gators are cold-blooded animals,
Yeah.
so they're not
They're
gonna.
probably gonna go where the water is colder.
And that lake is, it's not like warm, nasty warm, but it's like it's not cold at all. So
Yeah.
I'm, and the sun is, there's no trees at the beginning,
Oh,
right
yeah.
where the pier is. So they're not going to be in that area. And if they are, it's going to be closer to nighttime, which I am not anywhere near.
Good.
But we got to I've been mostly focused on, I'm really going to try to move at the end of next year, so I will not be traveling. I'm going to put this post out also on Facebook eventually, but I'm not going to be traveling outside of Florida except for obviously like your birthday and just like coming to see you every now and then. But I'm not going to be doing shows unless they're paying base rate, um, because I'm moving next year. So I want to save all
Yeah,
my,
you have to save your money.
yeah, because I'm going to be literally starting completely over on all my furniture and things in my new place. So I'm just not going to be traveling as much, which is going to kill me. But at the same time, I'm also super
You're
excited.
gonna save so much money because traveling, especially driving, you spend so much money on gas.
I know my car is really good on gas, but at the same time, I'm just like, it, unless I'm getting paid base rate, I'm not going to be traveling anymore.
Absolutely.
I've just been excited about your birthday, and we talked a little bit about that today. It's gonna be super fun. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm focused on just working and moving, and just like really focused on shows here, and so that's basically it. I've just been really focusing on myself, and I think that's just pretty much how it's gonna be for the next couple months. Um, because
Love that for you.
yeah, I just really want to enjoy this summer too. So really, I'm not gonna have
Be
much
outside.
of that. What you got going on, Loka?
I mean, not a whole lot since we last talked. Luckily, I have not had any more sightings of that homosexual that I dealt with over the weekend. Because I was worried because he has my address, so
I really
I was worried that he was gonna just like pull up on me and like do something. And my roommate is out of town, so I'm by myself.
well that
But I haven't heard anything.
guys back to my house.
What?
That's why I don't like the idea of bringing guys back to my house. And
Yeah, I'm not doing that ever again.
I really had to think back to the last episode because it sounded like you said homosexual, not
No,
homo.
hobo.
I know now I
Hobo.
heard it made a lot more sense. But yeah, no.
Um, but yeah, I'm really excited for this weekend. I'm getting my hair done for my birthday, so that's happening. And then I'm going on a really like this gay tubing event. So we're gonna go tubing on the Chattahoochee.
When is that?
Like when you get like a big donut tube thing.
Yeah, no, when. I'm in the country. I know that. When?
Oh, when? On Sunday.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
really.
I was like, you said what is that? I'm like,
No, I'm from the
you don't
country.
know what tubing is?
No, I know what tubing is. We have this one here in Florida. We have multiple in Florida, obviously, and there's this one
Yeah.
called Bear Paw, and it's like 4 hours long, and it's one of my favorites.
Yeah. This one is I did this last year once, and it's really fun. And I got a really nice tan, so I'm really excited for that because I'm gonna get a tan this weekend and I'm gonna get a tan next weekend. So
It's really pissing me off that on camera I look so pale, but in real life I'm at least a taupe color. Like it looks like I guess because it's just the lights washing me out, but I'm definitely got a tan.
maybe.
But we're gonna be really dark in Panama City, so I don't think you have to worry about that too much.
I'm fucking excited. I wanna come back to work and be like, oh my god, where did you go? Yeah.
Exactly.
I went to the beach, bitch.
I'm still upholding my prediction that you will hear from Movie Man.
I haven't heard from him yet.
I know, because I told you you wouldn't. I don't think you're gonna hear from him until afterwards. I'm gonna guess like a week or two. I'm gonna give it 2 weeks the max.
Okay.
That's my
Okay.
prediction.
All
Look,
right.
I have this.
Listeners, put money on this. Let's in the comments put some bets on this. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
I hope not. I'm hoping I'm wrong for the first time. For the
I
first time.
mean, I kind of hope you're not because I like being able to like assert myself. Oh, actually, I do have an up. I forgot this happened. This happened today.
Oh, tell me.
Um, when I was in my early 20s, well, I don't even know. It was like, yeah, about 10 years ago. Um, there was a very small like I'm telling you, like maybe a month of time where I did not care if a man that I was seeing was married or like in a relationship because one of my friends at the time, we're not friends anymore, but her philosophy was like, if they're gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat, so why not with you? And so I tried to subscribe to that idea. And while I was doing that, I started talking to this dude that was married. He had just had a baby. And he was always in church. Like they went to church like almost every day. And I mean, he was sweet. He was nice. And he gave me money every so often. So I was like,
They always do.
whatever. But after a certain point, I just started feeling like shit. And I was like, you know what? Never mind. This isn't worth it. And also, he would like contact me through a fucking burner email account. The name wasn't even his. And I was like, this is too much. This is too much. So I ended shit with him.
Some
And
people live
every
off.
so often he would also like guilt trip me and like quote Bible shit at me, and I'm like, bro, you're the one that's stepping out on your wife. I do not get like this is not about me. Like, go get with God and figure that shit out. Um, but anyway, he fucking emailed me today. I'm telling you, this was like 7 years ago, and he emailed me today, and he was like, "Hey, I hope you're doing well. You know, it's been so long. I just wanted to see how you were doing." And I was like, "Are you still married?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm still married and I have 2 kids now." And he had 1 kid when I met him. So now he has 2 kids.
Still with this lady. Oh my
And
god.
he was like, "How are you doing?" And I said, "I don't want to talk to you if you're still married." Like, and at this point, to be frank, I don't want to talk to you at all because whether or not you're married or not, because I can't trust you. Like, what are we doing? Um, I said, I don't know why you still think about me. I don't know why you're still like, this is crazy. Like, just leave me alone. Like, go spend some time with your fucking family and leave me alone. And he was like, okay, thank you. And I was like, what a weird response.
Because you
But
know you didn't.
I would like to know, why am I a magnet for married men? What is it about me that gives she likes to fuck married men? Because I don't. I don't like to fuck men that are married or in relationships. I don't.
It's a
Leave
fantasy.
me alone.
It's a whole fantasy. If
But
they,
it's like lately, in the last 10 days, 3 different married men have come in and out of my life. What is happening? That's crazy. And it's not like super high, but it's weird that it happened more than once.
yeah, I know. I know.
Like,
We
I
need to.
just want
We need to
a
get you.
nice man.
We need to get you some here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be manifesting some shit tonight because it's witchy day.
It is what you
So,
and
and the
what.
moon is in Cancer. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Cancer.
We are gonna get you some
So,
ocean water, some shells. It's gonna be a nice little love jar. We'll get you taken care of.
okay.
We'll get you taken
So
care of.
yeah, that is that is the updates
Jesus
where I'm
fucking.
at. I know. Like, and you know what's crazy though? That's because these married men were hit. I was dealing with them like last week. I did think about him, and I was like, oh, I wonder how he's doing.
You
So
manifest.
it's my fault that he reached out to me because,
When you think about a man, he'll show up.
bruh.
Look what happened this past week to me. Look what this.
Yeah.
Both of them niggas, and they both just
Mm.
rose up from the ashes.
Rose up from the fucking ashes, man.
It's not even frozen from the ashes. It's like a fucking WWE entrance. That's what I fucking imagine. Not even. It's like the Under fucking Taker and fucking Goldberg just coming through, just smashing shit and throwing tables and.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, let's get into these books and this movie, and hopefully we don't do what we did last time. Cause
I ain't got that time.
yeah.
I ain't got that time tonight. We got to get stuff posted.
Although unfortunately, I do love God of Fury almost as much as I love, like, these books are tied for me.
I love you.
So
Doing it tonight. I'm not doing it tonight. I got shit to upload. We got shit to do. Um. Yes. So you can take it away.
okay, so this week was my week. We will be talking about God of Fury by Rena Kent,
Yep.
and we will be talking about Sinners a little bit later.
Yeah.
So, God of Fury is not the first book in this series, but these are interconnected standalones, so you can read them by themselves and it will still make sense. There's just information about other characters that is important for the other books. Or not necessarily important, but like you'll understand the context slightly more if you read the other books. But I've read like 3 or 4 of the books in this series and I've not read any of them in order. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Um, so God of Fury, we have Nikolai Sokolov and Brandon King. They are Nikolai is in the Bratva, and Brandon is he plays lacrosse. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, he plays lacrosse. And his family is also in the mafia. It's like the rival mafia to the Bratva.
We love a good
And
one.
so they don't they don't mesh well, but his sister Glenn is dating the cousin of Nikolai, so they already have some shit going on.
Yeah.
Um
Before we start,
yeah.
let's hit the trigger warnings for this book.
Oh yeah,
Our
let's do that.
trigger warnings for this.
Cuz there's a lot.
Um, the major ones, as far as like outside of the romance part goes, that are important. There's a lot of talk of depression, borderline personality disorder, suicidal thoughts, self harm. So a lot of the self harm course comes towards the end of the book. Um,
Yeah.
however, it is imperative that we do say that, because the self harm does lead to a plot point. So, there's descriptions of suicide attempts and deteriorated mental states. There's descriptions of a minor sexual assault that causes the suicide attempt. So that if that triggers you, that's outside of
Probably not the episode for you.
probably not the episode for you. But it just giving you the heads up. It has nothing to do with the characters' romance or themselves. It
Yeah.
obviously does have to do with characters, but it's not involved in their romance, so it's not something that the characters are doing to one another. So,
Yes.
um, there we go. I just
There's
found
also murder.
murder, lots of murder, not lots of murder, but just murder, murder. So yeah, I think those are the biggest ones that we need to cover. But yeah, that's the ADHD pause on that.
No, you got it. That's I forgot.
Okay.
Um so do you have I guess I should have pulled it up since
Hmm.
it's my week. The chapter review because I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, it starts out at the
That,
initiation. So the initiation is an event that the um the Bratva guys have like every year where they basically initiate new people into their club or whatever.
right.
And so Nikolai um invites Brandon or Bran um just to like get him there. And he's like from jump is like very flirty with Bran, and Bran is like, "I'm straight," but
So during the whole hunt, okay, the whole point was they couldn't join if they got caught or they were joined.
mm,
What was the whole point?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember that.
They said they'll be hunted down. If you're eliminated, you'll be escorted out.
So yeah, you were right.
So yeah, there was supposed to be, and he doesn't get eliminated though, even though he gets caught, right?
No, because he got caught by Nikolai. Nikolai was just trying to rub his body all over him
Yeah.
because he's an asshole.
So did he have like preconceived notions about who he was? Why did he choose him?
I think he just thought he was hot and he wanted to like
Fuck.
bother him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like it starts out as like a joke kind of thing, but then he sees the reaction that it pulls from Bran, so
Yeah.
he keeps taking it further and further.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. This is narrated by Shane East and Teddy Hamilton. I the way that I was introduced to Shane East was not through books. It was through audio porn on Quinn.
Mm.
And so when I started reading this book, I was like, "Oh, wonderful." Um I love both of their voice acting. I love both of their voices. Um Teddy Hamilton does such a good job with Nikolai because Nikolai is such a dickhead and he's so sarcastic all the time. So Teddy Hamilton has the perfect voice for this, and it's
I'm gonna ask you this again now that you know what I mean. Who would play her?
who would play who?
Um, Nikolai.
Nikolai
Both of them. Yeah. Who would play her?
like in a
Voice
movie
in the voice.
in the voice.
So I know what it would sound like. Yeah.
Well, Teddy Hamilton did the voice of Zayd when we did Hunting Adeline, so it's that voice, just not
Oh.
in that dramatic way that he was reading. It's
Okay.
different.
Okay.
Shane East is British. Mhm.
Oh.
And he has a little bit of a raspy voice.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh. Okay.
yeah. Um, I feel like Andrew Garfield.
That's a good one. It's a good one.
I fucking love Andrew Garfield. He's so actually, Andrew Garfield would probably be a great brand in general because he's so like small.
Mm.
And Bran is not. I mean, Bran is small. Nikolai is not. That man is huge.
Gotcha.
Anyways. Um, so yeah, continue because you have the chapter thing up.
So you're right. So they're going back and forth pretty much, and they're like, they're fighting pretty much. They're like beating the shit out of each other, and he's just like getting turned. There's a lot of primal play shit going on here, and I was like, we're starting off with primal play. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm
And
getting.
he like Nikolai's so Brandon will be like, "Get the fuck off of me," and Nikolai will be like, "Ooh, yes, talk dirty to me, baby."
Okay. Oh, one day,
Um,
one day I'm gonna get my primal fantasy. One day a man's gonna act right enough to where I'm gonna be able to fulfill it in my brain, and that's why I keep on
I
moving.
want that for you.
I want that for me so much. um,
Um, go ahead.
oh, this is gonna be another awful thing to edit.
I
Another
know.
thing to edit.
Um,
Having to cut so much off.
Actually, if you want to send me the link to the chapter thing, I can read it.
Well, I have the
Unless you want to.
open right now. I just have the book.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
um, in my notes. Um, but the second chapter is we begin with the most stupidest fucking shit. His character reminds me of fucking Angel Dust a little bit with his attitude, even though he's a top
Angel Dust.
from not Angel Dust. Yeah, Angel Dust from Has Been Hotel.
Oh, I've never seen that. I can't see what face you're making, but I hear silence and I feel like you're upset.
Can you not see my face?
No, because I was in another window. Sorry.
So I know what we're doing when we're on the road. Um,
Well, so here's the thing. I didn't watch it because I heard that from a lot of different people that the creator of that show was like really problematic in many ways. So
I
I
didn't
was
know that.
like, let me just not get into it.
I don't know. I've never heard of that. I'll have to look deeper into that.
I will do some research and send it to you.
Please do. Um, so second. Oh well, it's really the third chapter, but Nikolai. It starts at Nikolai's chapter, and Nikolai is very Russian, which I love because I love Russian gay shit. Like Russian gay movies are amazing. Of course, I'm a Yuri on Ice fan. Like, have you ever seen Yuri on Ice?
No, I didn't know it was Russian.
Well, the main character is Russian. His
Oh,
name
that's hot.
and the other guy's name is Yuri. Which is also a Japanese and Russian name, which they play on two characters that are Japanese and Russian. But
Right.
so Nikolai is a very Russian name. Um,
Oh, absolutely.
so he named his penis Goyla Junior.
Golia.
Golia Junior. Um, and he just Junior, and just how much of a whore he is, and how he
And
fucking.
he's also pan. He's not even like gay. He's pansexual. He fuck anybody, and I love that for him.
I don't love that he just fucks everything and everybody and doesn't treats them like objects. Though that's the only part I don't like.
Okay, no, I don't like that, but
I mean, there's some of the people that he's sleeping with that they're totally into and they don't care because they just want the status of sleeping with Nikolai, which is fine.
yeah,
There's just a part where he's just like he's rich. It's another conversation we keep on having about rich people and the money that they have. He's just like some of these guys are just so rich they just get Viagra and just start fucking like letting me know
yeah,
and everything. It's just very crude. But the whole point is Golia stops working.
yeah. Kolya stops working because Kolya wants Bran and only Bran.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you. Like I had a relationship with somebody that like their penis it had like its own otherworldly effects with me and half the time when he wasn't paying attention and was fucking hilarious. So the idea
That's
that
crazy.
it's not, but it is. It's hilarious. So he keeps on like flashing back to like the event and everything else like that, and it's kind of like it kind of explains that the reason why he invited him was to mess with his twin brother, like because
Yes.
he fucking hates Landon. Because
Yeah.
him got into a fight, um, and then Brandon pretty much shows up and like stops it, and so he got really pissed off about it. So that's initially why he went in to fuck with the Brandon.
You're right.
Yeah. Um. So in his brain, he's already kind of just like having this mental battle about like my dick is thinking about this man, but I didn't even fucking want him. Like now I do. What the fuck is this about?
And he starts like stalking him on Instagram so he knows his like schedule because Brandon is very regimented. So he wakes up at 5 o'clock, goes running at 5:30, comes back at 7, has breakfast at 7:15. Like he's very because he doesn't like spending time by himself in his head. So
Right.
he is very he everything is planned. And
Yeah.
so he starts stalking him, and then at first he's just watching him like while he's running, but at some point he starts actually running with him, and Brandon is not okay with this. Brandon's like, why are you bothering me? At one point they're running, and Nikolai takes his AirPods out of his ears,
Like got chills.
and Brand gets so fucking mad and like pushes him, and then Nikolai gets a hard on. So
Of course, because why would you fucking not?
right.
It's so funny that like the characters from this book and the last book have very similar like traits, even though there's very
But it's like reversed.
that it's reversed. It's very reversed.
Yeah, because the the top is the one that's like chasing versus the in the last one it was the bottom.
Yeah,
He was
but
like,
the personalities are very similar in that the fact that
yeah,
like the golden retriever prepper boy,
hmm
like the darker side, kind of well, in this
the
story,
black cat.
yeah. Um, except in this one, it's just like at the beginning, Brandon's just like, I fucking hate this fucker. Like he's a very violent, stupid individual who just fights people and wants to like
Yeah,
shit all the time. And I'm not gay. He needs to leave me the fuck alone.
and he calls him disgusting. Like on more than one occasion, and that is the one thing that Nikolai does not fuck with. He punches Brandon in the face for that.
He does. But in his defense, it's just like you really should watch. Like we at least know who Angel's Death's character, because Angel is very similar to this character, where he uses his hypersexuality a little bit. It comes out as a defense mechanism to get what he wants a lot.
Yeah.
And so with Nikolai, that's kind of him. He's so used to getting the way he wants to and being the hottest thing on the block that like he's like, I'm going to get you. And there are some times where he pushes boundaries a little too far, but at least in this book, it's not like he gets like to the point where it's completely non-consensual.
Yeah, I think it all falls under dubious consent because you can tell
Well, he
that
never,
it's not that Brandon doesn't want it, it's that he doesn't want to want it.
yeah, and even then, it's like he's not ever doing anything that's like he's not grabbing at his genitals or anything
Yeah,
like that. He's literally just flirting with him and like saying shit to
getting in his space. Yeah.
getting. There's never any moment to where he's actually like groping or harassing him, which that's something I
Yeah.
like about this. I'm just like, there's a lot of like tropes with this kind of thing to where like the hypersexuality guy's just like egging him on that way, and I'm like, I'm glad it's one of those situations where I'm just like, it's like I'm gonna give you so much tension to where you're gonna beg me.
Hmm. And that's exactly what happened.
With me, like that worked out really good with me, like especially in this case. So like you said, this kind of goes on for a while after that too. He still follows him, like running every morning. He's not giving up even after like Brandon saying no. He's just like, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just. But we get to the point where we meet the trope that we brought up in the last book, the blonde ex-girlfriend trope.
Clara.
Yeah, and it's always
Fucking Clara. Oh, she was so annoying.
that's again
Oh,
this
I hated her.
like this trope because it's not. This girl
No,
was
this girl was a piece of shit though, also. So,
definitely. I definitely was okay with them villainizing her, even though in fan fiction they do overly villainize sometimes with this trope. In this one, they kind of kept it nice. Or,
yeah, I mean, because he only got back with her because he was using her as a fucking beard, but
but
she
on him every.
was fucking using him for his money and status to be with a fucking king. Like,
Well, that
no.
she would cheat on him, but that also was because he wouldn't have sex with her.
But so then we don't need to be together. Go fuck
That's the
whoever
whole
you
point.
want. We don't
Yeah.
need to be together.
But we meet Sarah, and she's this big titted blonde, um, wearing more quoted, wearing more makeup than a drag queen, and Nikolai is watching, and he's like, I probably saw her on IG already. Yeah, that's I like
Yeah.
um. Wait, no, her name's not Sarah. Her name's Clara.
Clara.
Clara, yeah.
I didn't
Um,
realize you said Sarah.
yeah, Clara. And he is fucking jealous because he's watching in the bush like a creep.
He's such a fucking creep. He's the ultimate stalker. The
Yeah,
ultimate stalker.
I mean, but at the same time, I'm just like, have you never watched your crush from like around a corner or like
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do that in the gym every day.
no?
Oh, bitch, I be
Have
watching niggas in the gym, especially when they're doing pull-ups in front of me. Oh my God. That is my
you,
favorite because I'm so sorry, y'all. ADHD pause. I love like a muscly back. So
mm,
like when men are doing push-ups, I mean pull-ups, that's my favorite fucking thing because you can see all the muscles in their back working. It's so fucking hot. So yeah, I be watching niggas at the gym. Hmm.
fair, fair enough. So he's watching through the bush like a fucking stalker, and he sees Brandon go to kiss her, and he's not even looking at her when she's getting all these text messages now. He's watching fucking Nikolai.
Yeah, while he's kissing her, he's looking at Nikolai. and Nikolai peeps that his dick gets hard, and he's like,
Well,
I feel
well,
like that was for me.
well, yeah, because so he sees Nikolai in the bushes, and then he starts like, and then he's
Yeah.
out even passionately with her while staring.
Yeah.
Like, I,
So like honestly, like now who's the creep? Because that's creepy as well. Why are
and
you looking at me while you're kissing somebody else? That's weird.
yeah, because so he wasn't getting an erection to kissing her before, but then when he saw Nikolai and he was showing off, then he got the erection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, Bran.
but Brandon's like, okay, whatever. And so, so Nikolai has another talk with Koila and is just like, dude, chill. That's and so she's like, Clara. He takes Clara back at that moment for good, and like she starts posting on IG and starts commenting, and Nikolai's losing his ever loving fucking shit
Yeah.
and starts
And
relationship.
I feel like it's worth mentioning throughout this, Brandon is full of like this inner turmoil about whether or not he likes Nikolai, and like why he even cares about him, why he's like thinking about him and all of this stuff. And there's a point where um I don't remember what prompted him to say this, but I wrote it down. He says, "How can someone be so comfortable with touch? It's not normal." And that shit broke my fucking heart because, dude, like,
What happens
he,
later,
like, he's full of so much self-loathing, and that's a really big, like, point at the end of the book.
right?
But it's so sad, and I think that's part of the reason why I like this book so much, because there's so many levels. Like, it's not just a romance, there's so much depth to it. Like, yes, there's definitely a lot of smut in this book, and it's really, the smut is also really good, but it's also, there's so much to it. And
Well,
like, Nikolai is not just a fucking bratva bro, like, he also has depth to him, and he has such a nice character arc where where he becomes like this a sort of different person.
yeah, that's what this book and the other book have in common because I just feel like I
Hmm.
Mal is just like a very lighter version of Nikolai.
Yeah,
A very
absolutely.
like Mal has a darker personality than him as far as like personality traits, but Nikolai has like I don't know. Like I said, it's an interesting concept for sure, and that's
Yeah.
in the two books too because it's usually in Mal had the trauma versus the Nikolai, not Nikolai. Brandon has a trauma in this book.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, it's crazy, honestly. I relate to Nikolai a lot because one, I'm a smartass. Two, I like the whole tension thing, but
Yeah, same.
I would never push anybody like Nikolai does. But I will say I've gotten better about it. But I'm a texter. You know this. I'm a multiple line texter.
Yeah.
I'm a Nikolai, I'm a multiple line texter. And in this scene, he just sends him like 10 things about his. He keeps through the whole book actually too. He just keeps on sending in paragraphs and lines about his day, even though he's not answering. Oh, and he calls him his little lotus
Yeah.
flower, by the way, which
That's very sweet. Yeah.
yeah, which we learn has a darker meaning down the road, like a foreshadowing meaning down the road. Um, but he finally answers back and he's like, "Please stop, or I'll block you." But he didn't block him.
Yeah. Because he wanted him.
He did. He just
Oh.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've gone through that before. It's very toxic, but it's the same time you just like it's like leave me alone. Then well, you know what? Let me just not. We both know I shouldn't be saying
Yeah.
before I manifest stupid shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
pretty much. So they go back and forth again, having more confrontation, and they meet at school, and pretty much Nikolai gets him like up against a wall at this point.
so that was after his game, right?
No, not yet. Wait, are you right? I'm not sure. Oh,
So after he starts dating Clara again, Nikolai stops running with him.
Yeah.
And then at some point I think he takes Jeremy to a game.
No, we're not there.
And oh,
No, we're not there yet. Um, no, we're not there yet. Because they hit a party first, and then because um it's the first time he tries calling them babe, and he's like, Clara calls me babe. You can't call me babe. It's that scene first.
oh,
Um,
when they're at the bar, when they're playing Never Have I Ever.
no, I don't know where this scene's coming from. Hold on, give me just a sec. We're gonna pause it real quick.
Okay.
See it right after they're texting and stop me or block you, and then, um, yeah, no, it's just at the main hall. So I was right, yeah. So they're still like just outside when the
Where?
at the hold on. Um, yeah, they're just on at the college, and
Oh,
because he goes swimming, and then he goes outside because he goes swimming, and then they're on the main campus, and he's walking back to his room, and yeah,
oh,
yeah, and then he pushes him in the pillar, and then that's like I said, and then he calls him babe, and then he's like, "Don't call me that," um, and then they get really, really fucking close, and then he's
right.
calls him out about the whole "you were looking at me" thing. Um,
Yes, okay.
and then that's when he licks his Adam's.
Ah,
Yeah, so he does like and then he just like he licks him over his tongue, back up to his chin, and then he stops. He doesn't kiss him or anything.
man, Bran is strong as fuck because if that happened to me,
But this is the first time he calls him disgusting too.
oh yes, I remember that.
Like
But if a man did that to me, I would like rip off all of my clothes right there.
fair.
Just like,
Yeah, I'm gonna try to speed up the next couple chapters because we're already at 40. Okay. Um. So yeah. So he's like, my crush is over. Nikolai's like, fuck this straight man.
oh yeah, because he called him disgusting. Okay, yeah, yeah,
It's over. They do this a lot. They go back and forth saying it's over, it's over, it's not over, it's over, whatever. They do this a lot in the book, by the way. Um, but basically, Brandon's trying to like hold back Clara as long as he can for not actually hanging out with her. Um, and then Brandon is the first one to reach out to fucking Nikolai and was just like, "Listen, I didn't mean to call you disgusting," and he, like, I didn't really mean it. And then Nikolai's just like, "This asshole,"
yeah.
pretty much. Um, you kind of see a little bit of Lannon's and Brandon's relationship after this a little bit, and seeing what's going on in the background of between the two worlds. And then he brings up Clara, and it's like he's like, everybody wants this man to leave Clara. Nobody wants him with Clara. So then we get the bar. Then the bar happens.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah. Then basically same shit. He starts getting jealous, and they play Never Have I Ever. Um, and what was the question that they asked us? Really turned the point. Where was it?
One of them was, "Have you ever been in love?"
Yeah, I remember
And the
that.
other one was, "Have you ever received a blowjob?"
Something
Or
like
"Never have I ever received a blowjob."
this scene lasts a while, by the way. This never have I ever seen. So that's what I'm trying to like figure it out. Um, the point being, it gets to the point where they're like, Brandon's like, I gotta get out of here. I'm kind of all this shit.
Well, Nikolai leaves first
Yeah,
because he's pissed off,
yeah,
and then Brandon leaves. but
Right.
like shortly after, and I think it was because he was looking so like low key he was looking for Nikolai, and he was like wasted.
Well, they both were, yeah.
Um, so he like stumbles outside and he like trips into somebody, and
An
that person what?
an American guy, because they're like, fuck these Americans, fucking Americans, and they
Yeah,
fight pretty much with somebody, and they pretty
which valid,
and
unfortunately, it's valid, but
Brandon out from getting his ass kicked, and Brandon's like, "Did you get the text I sent you?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Why didn't you reply?" You called me fucking disgusting. He's like, "I didn't call you
yeah.
disgusting because of your fucking sexuality. I called you disgusting because you're stupid."
And he's like, whatever, fuck you.
Pretty much, and they're just like, it's the normal, typical trope of a drunk scene, and they're going back and forth. They've got Clara, and and he's like, "Well, you're kind of dating this girl at the party. Like, you flirted with this girl at the party," and he's like, "She's a baby, like whatever." And it's cute banner going back and forth, and eventually it's just at the point where they're like, they're both super hard, of course, and they're getting
Oh
close
my god.
and close,
Yeah.
closer and closer and closer, and he puts a straw. This is one of those things that lasts forever because the tension in the scene
Yeah.
is just like
Yeah.
so much, because it's just like you get so much of Brandon's inner fucking thoughts about it, and um they finally kiss, of course, because where was that not going? So they finally kiss. Great. Um, and of course, it's like everything you think is gonna be rough. It's bruising, like it's everything he ever wanted. Like it's more
Passionate as fuck.
than with anybody. And of course, he fucking Nikolai ruins it by asking who's a better kisser, Clara or me. Never.
Yo, Nikolai, don't take nothing serious.
You know what? I'm gonna be fucking toxic the next time that happens, and I'm gonna say some shit like that. I'm in my talk
Please report back.
apparently. Um, so he's kind of just like trying to get him to admit that like you like me and you don't want
Yeah.
to with that bitch. So of course they go back to like he's like, "Do you want to call what baby?" Nikolai goes, "Fuck, I love the way you grab my name," and he's just like going back to like that, and then they're rubbing their dicks against each other. Like
Hmm.
kissing him, and he's just like, "Don't make me do this. I'm drunk." He goes, "Then blame it on me." Mind you, they're still outside.
Yeah, but they're like in an alley at this point, like in a
Yeah.
dark alley.
And my favorite line from this, I have the notes, is this goes, well, hello, Brandon Straight Dick, you look pretty gay to me.
Yeah.
So at this point,
Oh,
you can't like say you're straight, but of course it's gonna we go through that emotion. But basically, they jerk each other off in the alleyway, and it's
does he give him a blow? Does he give him a blowjob,
mm-mm.
Nikolai?
um. At one point, I know that he's like, I don't think he actually does. I think it's just because the last in, he's like, with my fingers instead. I want you to like, he wants him to swallow the cum down his throat, but he's gonna make him put his fingers down
Yes.
because he basically like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Spicy.
It's very spicy. These scenes are so good, and what I was looking for our first 4 fucking books, I've wanted this level of spicy. Oh, I need to be
Noted.
spicy because we be doing some spicy shit too. I need the cum swap heterosexuals, please. I need all.
Listen, you're right, because I've never read another book where somebody with the cum swap, like, because you know why? Because straight men, their masculinity is too fragile to be okay with that.
Yeah,
Although, you know what?
we did get
Oh,
that
there's a book.
Blackbird, but not.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, didn't he eat his own cum out of her pussy? Yeah, he did. Okay.
And we got pegging, so, but not in the detail and sexiness poetry, like not only like the poetic way like this.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
fan fiction quality, and I'm here for it. And I will tell you guys, we're doing an ADHD pause, and I know we're at 50 minutes, but ADHD fucking pause. We are going to be doing one specific fan fiction on this channel, and no, it's not going to be My Immortal, some dumb shit. It is going to be my
What's
favorite.
that?
Oh my
I
god.
I, I don't do fan fiction.
Okay, so the My Immortal is. Oh god, we're definitely gonna have to swim this down. My Immortal is this like horrific fan fiction. It's known for it. That was me being joking, sarcastic. My
Oh,
it's a horrible fan fiction. That's we're gonna look at it after this. If we can get done by 10 o'clock, you're gonna like see a chapter of it.
okay.
It's badly written. It has like a Mary Sue, which is like when Mary Sue is like an original character somebody makes. That's like so ridiculous. It's like when they describe it, it's like ebony blonde hair with red streaks in it and blue hair. It's like the most written thing, but it's a Harry Potter fan fiction about an
I
emo
knew it was Harry Potter.
about an emo girl who listens to My Chemical Romance and she's in love with Draco, and it's just like,
But it's called My Immortal. That's an Evanescence song.
yes, because the girl is like goth and like a whole
Oh, she's supposed to be like Amy Lee. Okay.
it's a whole thing. It's so
I
ridiculous
feel like I've heard of this.
because it's the most awful written fan fiction in the history of things. But there's a fan fiction called Memories, and it's a One Piece fan fiction with Zoro and Sanji, and
I'm so here for that.
yes, and
I
it's a
haven't watched all of One Piece, but I know Zoro and Sanji, and Zoro is my favorite, so I'm really here
yeah,
for this.
or my favorite too. And basically the whole premise is Sanji loses his memory um in a fighting accident, which is spoiling the plot of it, but he loses in a fighting accident. Him and Zoro basically have this whole fighting ring thing. It's a great thing. But he pretty much falls back in love with Zoro. It's so good. Back to the
I
story.
have to tell my guy bestie because One Piece is like his favorite anime, so I have to tell him we're gonna cover it because he already listens to the pod, so I'm
No,
gonna give him something to get excited about.
oh yeah, we're watching it. We're watching it. And hopefully maybe it'll come in time for the new One Piece Netflix special. So maybe.
Oh yeah, I need to watch the first season
Yeah.
still.
Yep.
All
Um
right. Anyways, unpause.
so basically he's telling Brandon to lose Clara and he doesn't listen. Um we still joined him on these fucking jogs again, back on the jogs. And he's basically stalking him. Um where else are we at? God, there's a lot of stalking. There's a lot.
I think somewhat after that though, they go to somewhere. Maybe it's after his game.
I'm about to say this is all they
Um,
did in the game, pretty much. What I'm reading now. Uh,
um,
mhm.
Clara like forces herself back with him to his apartment or his house or wherever, and she's like trying to have sex with him, and he's like, I literally do not want to. Like, I don't. Please stop. I don't want this. And she's like, we have to because blah blah blah. Like, and then he's like, no, like another time. And he starts to kind of like kick her out. And then he's like, actually, like, I think
Oh, I'm
we
caught
should
up on.
break up.
Yeah, I'm caught up on that now. They had another scene together, him and Brandon Nikolai between that, because he's trying to convince him to like fire thing. So they go back at it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, you're right. She basically tries to like, and he's like, "We're done." And Lan and
And
Eagle,
he's like, I cheated on you. And she's like, it's okay. I cheated too. Now we're even. And I was like, girl, if you don't.
yeah,
I could. And then there's another part where so his brother comes in and
Lan,
he's like,
yeah.
ma'am, ADHD pause.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I just opened Facebook and the first thing that I see is a post that you made. A fish bit your ass cheek?
It did.
Ma'am.
I should have did that in the section earlier when I was at the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just laying out like halfway on the shore and halfway in the water, and like this thing like was not a small ass fish. It was a fish about it's a small fish, but it was a fish about this fucking big, like enough to my face, and it just like took a chomp out of my ass. It hurt.
I'm sure it did. What the fuck? Well, maybe it was radioactive and you'll become a mermaid.
Maybe, I don't know. But no, the fishes usually come up there to eat. So like and if you're like sitting up at the shore, they like there's a bunch of like little small fish that like go to your feet and they like eat the little dead skin off your toes, which is cool, but not
Oh,
the big ones.
no.
That's a normal thing. That's
No,
a
it's not.
normal, and that's a normal thing in Florida when you go to lakes and springs. There's little fishies and they love to eat their little bottom of your feet and you get exfoliated. That happens in the beach too.
Ma'am, do you want me to get in the water?
Okay, going back because we're at 55 minutes.
Anyways, sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're
Let
trying.
me.
I want to be able to get this done in an hour.
All right. We almost there. Okay. Um.
Yes, they kick her out.
So they come in and they try to kick her out, and she's like, "Well, I don't agree with the breakup, so I'll text you later, okay, babe?" And I was like, "Girl, you fucking delusional ass twat! Like, get out!"
Yeah.
Oh, I hated her.
Yeah, so they break up. Nikolai goes back to
And
multiple texting him.
yeah, and like after that, like immediately after that, I guess she goes to a bar that Nikolai is at, and
Mm-hmm.
Nikolai is like, "So did you break up with your girlfriend?"
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon's like, "Well, that's none of your business if I did." And so then he sends Bran a picture of Clara at the bar, or maybe it's a video, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like flirting with her. And so he's like, "Meet me at the penthouse in 20 minutes, or else I'm gonna fuck her."
Mm-hmm.
And so he fucking goes and he's fucking angry. He's livid. He's fucking mad. And he so he goes in and he sees Claire and then he realizes that he's not mad because Nikolai is gonna fuck Claire. He's mad because Clara is touching his man.
Pretty much.
And so he barges into the penthouse and he's like, "Get the fuck out. Like, get out." And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was just sad because you broke up with me." And he's like, "Get the fuck out. Like, I don't care what the fuck you're saying. Get out. Get out." And then
Bitch,
she
I
looks
love
at
my
and
man.
she sort of peeps that something is going on. And then Nikolai's like, "No, for real, get the fuck out of my house." And so she leaves and they get it on.
They get it on real good, guys. Real good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, go into
Mm-hmm.
it, but like we said, we are pressing time. Pressing pickle.
All right, but let me just shout out Breland. Please do not get mad because we're speeding through this book. Please don't be mad at me
Don't be
because
mad.
this is her favorite book, so
I
she's
know.
was
We're
very
trying
excited for this episode.
the important part.
But I know we're trying to get to the juicy bits. Not that these all the parts have not been juicy, but we're trying to get to the meat and potatoes. Okay, anyways, take it away.
I lost my chapter. Keep on going.
Okay, so they start fucking and they eventually come to an agreement of like they're gonna do their business, but it's gonna be a secret. Nobody can know. And they can only do it in
Right.
Nikolai's apartment.
Gotcha.
And um and for a while Nikolai is okay with it being in secret, like he doesn't care. But there's a Brandon really doesn't like affection. He doesn't like being told that he's beautiful. He doesn't like being feeling like he's being treated like the woman in the relationship. Like he really that makes him really uncomfortable. It's really triggering for him and it makes him really angry. Um and it just that goes into his like self-loathing.
Mm-hmm.
Um he really fucking hates that shit. And also throughout all of this, while Brandon is dealing with this turmoil, he has a couple of habits of self harm. One of the ones that is the most like obvious is that he pulls the hair at the nape of his neck really hard, like to the point that he pulls out his hair.
Mm-hmm.
He also cuts himself. He does it mostly on his inner thighs, like around his groin area. because people won't see it, but he wears a watch and he does it like right here, under where his watch band would be. And so he stops doing it on his inner thighs and like his groin area because he knows that Nikolai is gonna notice. In fact, he did notice. And he was like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, I just cut myself shaving," type shit. But so he stopped doing it there. But yeah, he's been, because he can't deal with the lack of control that he has over that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And he has such a hard time with being present with himself in his queerness. Um, because of, what we find out later, he doesn't believe that he deserves happiness or love because he thinks that he's a bad person because he did something which he did not. He did
Nope.
not do anything wrong. Um, line. I don't know where I'm at.
There's a lot to cover. We kind of get in between to the world of how serious the mafia is going, the mafia world, and how it plays between the Romeo and Juliet kind of bullshit in between. Um, I'm not. Am I wrong?
No, it's just funny.
It is. I mean,
Yeah,
this book is really jam packed with a lot of plot, so it's like it's hard
yeah,
for me to like hit on everything without like missing certain spots of it, and I'm trying not to. Um, because it's a lot of the beginning, a lot of the chapters are really just them setting up the, like you said, the relationship and getting into the nitty
yeah,
of understanding the backstory of what's going on in the inner turmoils between both characters. Um,
yeah,
and like I said, they go back and forth so much because of their boundaries and wanting to be together and not being together, so they break off several times. Um,
yeah. And it's mostly on Brandon's part because,
he's a runner.
well,
He's a runner. He's a track star.
yeah, he's a runner.
He's a runner. He,
He's a runner. He's a track star. He because also like whenever they have sex, he always leaves the night of. He doesn't stay the night. Um, and I think at one point, I'm trying to remember what.
Oh, I remember something we forgot to mention. So a big thing we did forget to mention is that Nikolai is not mentally well either. Um, he always has these tendencies, and the reason why he fights and is in kind of like the mafia kind of stuff, and he goes to do all these fights is because he gets urges,
He has manic episodes.
manic episodes that are beyond comprehension, and he usually takes medication, and then he got off his medication. So fucking Bran
Yeah.
is kind of like how he kind of releases that a little bit, and but whenever they're on their off periods, it's like that's when he starts getting in trouble because
Yeah, he fucked up his cousin in that fight circle.
yeah, so that's why I was talking about the going between the Romeo and Juliet kind of shit is like
Yeah,
starts having to, and there's even a part in there where Bran messages them and he's like, "I heard you're gonna fight. Can you just not like?" Because they were talking about he's like a lot of the times like Bran Nikolai's trying to get him to open more about the sexuality. He's like, "Why don't you let me fuck
yeah.
you? Why don't you fuck me?" Like, and Bran's like, "Dude, just don't fight. I'll come to your place tonight." Like, and he just and that's when they start like
Yeah,
really softening up towards each other. Because it's like he really doesn't want him to get hurt, and he's like he really cares about him, and it's just like that's when the thoughts you start really getting into the fact that like Brandon is like starting to have insecurities about things. He's like he's gonna leave me, like he doesn't love me.
yeah,
He's gonna love
yeah. Well, and then the conflict between their families starts to become more of a problem because Landon is a fucking asshole and he's starting drama. And at one point Nikolai, when they break up, I, I'd say this is probably the third act breakup.
yeah,
Um which didn't bother me as much as most third act breakups do. I fucking hate a third act breakup. But in this one, they break up because Nikolai realizes that Brandon is never going to choose him because he's always going to choose his brother first. And
right,
like, I don't. fault Bran for that because that's his brother. They're twins too at that. So like that's his other half.
Yeah,
Um,
they're
but Nikolai feels a way because Nikolai has done so much for him and for their relationship, and he's been okay with like putting himself back in the closet to cater to him, and Nikolai is like, I'm not doing this anymore. So until you figure your shit out, this is over. We're over. Um,
because even in
and
that,
then
start seeing Brandon actually get possessive over Nikolai
yeah,
several
yeah,
times, and it's like in his brain, he's just like, I'm just me. I'm his Lotus Flower, his Prince Charming, like his baby. But I'm like forcing myself away.
right, yeah,
Really sad. Like again, once we figure out what actually happened, so we're gonna jump really far ahead. So I'm actually not gonna use the chapter twist, so we can jump ahead.
okay,
um. So basically, really far ahead into the series, um, we we have we have what's his face? We meet Brandon's parents.
yeah.
Um,
This is right after the third act breakup
yeah. So we
happens.
meet Brandon's parents, and that he comes out to his parents, and they're really good with it. They don't care. Like it wasn't a big deal for them. They're just like, dude, we're just happy that you're not like a fucking depressed bitch anymore. Like,
Yeah,
great. And they Nikolai comes because he's like, after the whole fight, he's just like, I'm gonna go get my man.
yeah,
I'm gonna go get my man. So they meet, and we get this really cute parent meet scene where Nikolai meets his parents, and his dad fucking gets a chapter, which I thought was really fucking cute.
yeah.
Brennan's dad.
He has a whole book too.
Yeah, it was really cute. I love that little nod, and he's just basically like, "That's my baby." Like, I don't like this man because this little mafia fucking fuckface.
Yeah,
So, and then we fast forward to kind of getting to what the conflict. Even though there's a lot of conflict between the Romeo and Juliet kind of house stuff, the real conflict actually starts hitting towards the end of the book. Um, when
and it's more so Brandon's like inner conflict.
yeah, you can lead the beginning of this part of what actually happens.
So while Nikolai is there, his mom has been trying to get him to agree to meet with her like agent because all of the people except for Levi, Bran's dad, everyone in that family, they're all artists. Glenn, Landon, and Bran are all artists. And so Brandon is getting to the age where he needs an agent. And so his mom's agent is like, "Oh, I want to sign you. Like, let's have a meeting." And he's like, "I don't know about that." Um, but they all have dinner together after Nikolai gets there. The agent, his parents, Bran, and Nikolai.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the dinner, Bran is like, "Oh, do you want to model for me? Meet me in the studio. I'm gonna go talk to my dad." And on the way to the studio, Nikolai gets a run in with the agent. What was her name?
I don't
I
know.
don't care. It
She's
doesn't matter. She's a bitch.
she's a bitch.
Uh,
We don't give a shit
we can
about that
just call her
bitch.
a twat. Yeah, we can just
Oh,
call her a twat.
what?
Um, so the twat runs up on him and is sort of like, "You don't mean anything. You're disgusting. Like he's just passing time with you. Like it's not real." And Nikolai is like, "Whatever, ho. Like I don't give
I
a
don't know
fuck
who
about
you are,
you.
but what
Like
the fuck I think you're doing, but
right." And she's like, "You know what? I'll send you a little going away present." And so she's like, "Give me your phone number." So he does, and then they part ways, and he goes into the studio, and then she texts him a video, and the video is of this woman sexually assaulting Bran when he was,
younger.
I want to say in between 12 and 15.
Yeah, something like that.
Um, I want to say maybe he was like 12, but
Right.
it was 12 or in between 12 and 15. He was a child though, very much a child. And in the video, he is very much like, "No, I don't want this. Please get off of me. No, no, no." He's like crying, "No," and she covers his mouth. And Nikolai watches this and he fucking like he breaks a glass. He was drinking a cup of water and then he breaks the glass in his hand and the glass and the water falls everywhere. He's bleeding. And then Bran comes into the room and he hears the video. He doesn't even see it, but he hears it because in that memory is ingrained in his brain.
Yeah.
And he hears it and he just fucking has a total meltdown and he attempts to kill himself by cutting his throat with the glass that fell from the cup.
Yep.
And then in the next chapter, he's in the hospital. Obviously, he lives. Like this book has a happily ever after. So, he, so while he's being operated on, um, Nikolai shows the family like the video
Oh,
that he saw, like everyone. He shows everyone, which I hate and loved that because like that was very much Brandon's story to tell. But like, how else are you supposed to explain why he jumped to that? Like, there's no because he literally just walked in the room and slit his throat. Like he didn't say anything. He just
yeah.
there's no
And you got to think that
because the reason that he did it. What
Mhm. You also got to
I was
think
gonna say the
it's a
reason
very
that he
also
you go
you got to think too, it's a very violent mafia family, so they're not going to also
yeah
think. Even though this book has a lot of very normal elements, it does have a habit of taking you out of that element and bringing you back. So you have to remember those sort of things. That these are
yeah
killers. These people kill for a living. So
yeah
I'm not surprised that he showed the video because of what happens next.
absolutely. Um, but so he showed them the video, and like I said, I hated it just because like that was Brandon's story to tell, but at the same time, like how are you supposed to explain that? You need it, and also that lady needs to be told on. You need to, they needed to see that. Um,
Yeah.
and so you know, he gets operated on while he's in the hospital. Bran, no, Nikolai, Landon, and Nikolai's father track down the twat.
Mm-hmm.
They pull up to her apartment and she's in a fucking frenzy. She's because I guess she heard that he was in the hospital and she knew that shit was about to get bad for
Yeah.
her, so
Yeah.
she's
What's
trying to
going on?
leave. So she's like, she's packing her shit and they roll up into her apartment and they're like, you need to admit what you did. Write it down, write an apology, beg for forgiveness, all of this shit. And they draw her a bath, they make her get inside, and then they slit her wrists. So fucking poetic, so fucking beautiful. Thank you. I when I read this the first time, I was like, I expected nothing less.
I thought they were
That
gonna
is
just
exactly what needed to
but
happen. I
that's
thought
my
they were gonna shoot her, but I like that better because I think the other reason that they did that is because they didn't want Bran to know that they killed her for him
yeah they did
because that would have fucked with him too.
right.
He didn't want to be and not that he wasn't responsible for her death. She was responsible for her own death, but he didn't want to feel like her blood was on his hands. And knowing Bran, he definitely would have felt that way if he knew what actually happened.
Yeah. Oh, and then this
So
entire
that
time,
lady died.
uh, Nikolai has a bunch of tattoos, and he always has had this place above his heart that he's just like he doesn't have a space. So he got the lotus flower put right there at the end, and they pretty much that's
Yeah,
the dog as they live happily ever fucking after.
and Nikolai. I mean,
Yeah.
um, Brandon gets a tattoo on his heart that says Nikolai's lotus flower. So
Mm-hmm.
cute.
Very cute. So that's our
And then the last they get engaged.
yep, they get engaged. That's the little last bit, and that is our book.
I love that book so much.
I wish we could have way more into it. I wish we could have, but it was this book,
I
guys.
mean, we
So
have the opportunity to run it back at a later date.
no, it's good. We did it. We did the thing. Um, it because you also got to remember we want people to actually read these stories too. We don't give them the whole synopsis. We want people to read.
That's true.
I would for this book. I would love people to actually read and take time because there's so much. The scenes are so dense, so
Mhm.
dense. The plot is so dense. Like you fly through the plot of the Dark Jock series, And there's just about as much sex in both books, but
Hmm.
this is so plot thick. So, but
It really like tugs at your heartstrings, like I said, like just with Brandon being like so much self-loathing. Like we only really hit the tip of the iceberg, like talking about
yeah,
like the shit that he goes through and the mental shit that he puts himself through. It's very sad. But
this
I'm so like it's such a not like the way that it ends is so nice because like he ends up going to therapy, he comes out, like he's doing so much better, and then yeah, he proposes to Nikolai, and Nikolai was like, I wanted to be the one that proposed, and he's like, you chased me,
yeah,
so it's only right that I propose to you.
you're not wrong. This book was definitely a stand like this book stood alone as a standalone book on its own. It was I really wish it had a lot more plot in it, like for as far as like just building that up for Brandon. Like I'm glad they did it the way they did, but like it's so good. 10 out of 10
Yeah,
for 10 out of 10. Like
yeah,
um, what made you
10 out
fair?
of 10 for me as well.
Mhm.
um Nikolai, particularly when there's a part where Nikolai licks Brandon and he's like, what are you, a dog? And he's like, woof.
Yeah,
He does that shit twice, and I'm just,
the dialogue.
you gotta hear Teddy Hamilton do it though, because it's just, he does it so perfectly. Because Nikolai is just such a dickhead, like in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what made me feral. What made you feral?
The same, like the cheekiness, like the scenes were so good. Like just the scenes building up to them having like to them having sex, like the tension and the primal play was just
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
kiss. Chef's kiss.
Oh, something that I forgot to mention. Nikolai has a dick piercing.
He did.
I just feel like that's an important thing to know.
Okay.
It's not a Jacob's ladder. I think it's just like the tip is pierced.
Gotcha.
And it feels really good to Brandon when it's scraping on the inside of his prostate.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah.
All right. That was God of Fury. If you guys do want us to hit back in more detailed, we'll do a chapter analysis at the end of the year and come circle
Yeah.
back. But maybe
Yeah. Just let us know.
maybe we'll do an episode where we kind of like go deeper into like books that we wanted to
Stuff
get more.
that we've already, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Maybe like a New Year's kind of thing. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, like a recap. What we
Yeah.
did this year.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah. So the movie.
Alright. Now we're gonna talk about Sinners.
Yeah, because how could we not? How could we not?
Closing out the month with one of the blackest movies to ever do it, okay? Like, just,
Not one of the blackest movies, but one of the best blackest horror movies to do it.
yes.
That's that.
Just,
So
everything about it.
as Selena said, she's watched this multiple times. I've watched this multiple times. We saw it together in theaters together when I saw it for the first time.
Yep,
Um, so we actually got to watch it at Studio Movie Grill, which is this place where you basically order drinks and food and watch the movie.
yeah, that
And
was fun.
that was extremely fun. I hope that we get to do that again.
Me
Um,
too.
so we'll get into it. Um, obviously, spoilers if you haven't seen Sinners yet, because I know some people who still haven't seen Sinners yet.
I know.
People
And
who are
like, to be fair, it is a new movie, but
that irks me.
like I said, I've seen it 4 times.
That kind of irks me because I'm like, you guys are like sitting here with everything else going on today. You're not going to support Black cinema. You're not going to go out and spend money to
Go
support.
watch this movie.
Yeah,
And it's on streaming now, so if you haven't seen it yet,
please go see
pause
it.
this and go watch it from the comfort of your home.
Honestly, um,
Just so good.
it is so good. Um, so Sinners. We open up with our initial scene. With Preacher Boy. Um,
Yummy.
Um, he he's walking into the church, and we get these like flashes and stuff like that, and of something gone wrong. Obviously, like one of the biggest complaints people did have, and I did like the only complaints people had, and I agree, they showed way too much in the trailer. It would have been so much
That's
better
fair.
if they didn't show some of the stuff they showed in the trailer. It would have been a lot better.
You know what? I never even saw a trailer. I actively avoided trailers for this movie.
That
So
did.
I
It is.
literally like I didn't even know that it came out. Somebody told me was like, "Are you going to see Sinners?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's the Ryan Coogler vampire movie, right?" And he was like, "Yeah," and I said, "He's like, yeah, it comes out this weekend." I said, "Oh well, let me go get my ticket."
Exactly. Um, and it kind of like it opens with the preacher doing his summons, and then um, we learn that that's what happens within a day because it goes a day back,
Yeah,
um, a day back. Um, so we open up with preacher boy. He works. When is this actually
he
set?
picks cotton.
He picks cotton, but when is this actually set? Like the actual.
It's after 1865 because he's a sharecropper.
He is a sharecropper.
Um,
Sinners
let's see.
takes
Hold on.
place in what year? 1932
Oh, there we go. Okay. Well,
in
yeah, that makes sense.
Clarksville, Mississippi. Um, it's during Jim Crow.
Yeah.
Um, so Sammy pretty much, he tells his dad, he's like, basically, he needs to take a break from all the Christianity and the godliness while because it's really hard as a sharecropper and you're working your tail off to the bone and like everything that you've been through with slaves and everything else like that and racism, having to stay vigilant in Christianity. He just needs a break. He needs a fucking
Yeah,
break.
he said, "I've been working all week, Pop. I want
Just
to
need,
go have some fun."
so he's like, I'm just gonna be gone for a night with my cousins, you
And he
know?
literally is like, "I'm still gonna be here for church in the morning. Let me go live my life."
Like, yeah. So he meets up with Sammy, not Sammy, Smoke and Stack, who are his cousins. Smoke and Stack are played by Michael B. Jordan, and he did an excellent job. There's very few times
He
where
really did.
he did a job. Unless you're a movie critic, there's certain kind of times where you can tell, like, with the lighting difference, but he did a really good job of portraying both characters. Um,
Yeah, and
mhm.
there I saw an interview where somebody was asking him like how challenging was it, and it was like it sounds so crazy because he said when he would do one character, they would have somebody stand in. Like when they shot it the
Yeah,
first time, he would play one character and then they would have somebody stand in and be the other character, and he would have to preemptively tell them how he would portray those lines
mhm.
so that it would work, so that when he came to stand in, the banter would work the right way. Like you
That
couldn't just have somebody standing there, like you would have to know the body language and everything beforehand. And it's so crazy because you have to like pre-act
yeah.
while you're in another character. Like I don't
Well,
that's amazing.
it's like that interview for Harry Potter where Emma Watson had basically had to teach Helena Bonham how to act like her acting like another character because
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Helena Bonham.
Because they did the polyjuice potion. Yeah.
Yeah, so Helena Bonham had to act and have Hermione Granger's mannerisms while acting like another character. So that's a character acting like another character acting like another character.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm the dude that's playing a dude that's just up like another dude.
dude, pretty. Um,
Sorry.
it's okay. Um, so we learn that Stack and Smoke have just bought this mill house, and they're going to turn it into a juke joint. Our introduction to these characters is obviously they're coming down from Chicago. Um, we slowly learn over the passing of time that like they've been robbing people, they've been getting money just all kinds of shitty ways. We learned that Smoke was in the military.
They were
Um,
both in the military.
okay, I didn't know they were both in the
They were in the
military.
military together. Yeah.
Okay, well they were in the military, And then so when they go to like buy this mill house, they're pretty much like, keep the fucking clans folk out of here. And they're like, the guy's like, clans folk don't exist no more. And they're just like, yeah, you heard what the fuck I said. We're gonna blow the fucking shit up. Um,
Yeah.
so their whole point is they want to open up a juke joint. So we start slowly seeing them set this up, this world up to set this juke joint up, which is really very in depth and very, the way the director has like set up the time period was excellent, and it kind of like, it really brought something into me back to my hometown, because like my hometown, the one I grew up in, is very small, like 600 people small, and like nothing has
Oh.
fucking changed. There's very few things that have fucking changed modern day wise. Like the buildings look like that. It's very reminiscent. So like it, I don't know, it brought like this weird nostalgia for me when they brought up the town, when they were going through like this train station, the town.
Yeah.
It was just a weird nostalgic feeling. Um, and so the first thing they do is they get the illegal alcohol and all their stuff that they're gonna get, in the bandwagon, and then they separate. They have Smoke goes separately, and Sammy is supposed to be watching Stack, and they're supposed to be taking care of certain things for the juke. Um, so the first
To
thing
get
was
into entertainment.
the entertainment and everything else. So the very first thing was just so funny. Stack goes into the town, like I said, and we get this really cool moment where Stack teaches one of the little girl about negotiating with numbers, because he's having her watch the truck so they don't get robbed. And that scene, that intense little scene between him teaching his community, it's part of the community. That whole scene,
Yeah.
and it's funny they did that way. They separated the way they separated Smoke and Stack
Yeah.
um into the scenes and throughout the movie. Of Smoke was more focused on, he was more focused on protecting the community, and Dak was more concerned with being a part of the community, and you kind of got that through them, how they separated that just
Yeah. It
initial.
kind of shows what drives them.
Exactly. And so um he goes to talk to the Asian market, um and that was a really nice nod that I haven't seen in movies, because back then,
Yeah.
during the time, the Asian culture literally was right in the middle of both shops. Like they would be in the
Mhm.
middle of the town between the white and black folk, because they weren't
Mhm.
white enough to be with the white people, and they weren't black enough to be completely immersed in black culture.
Right.
So they were the only
Right.
ones to cater to both communities. Um. So, sorry. So Stack goes and gets basically then to set up the signage, um, and then we swap back over to Smoke, where we learn, um, basically we go to, we learn, we kind of get, we see that he's at a baby grave site, and you don't learn until later in the movie that basically it was him and Annie's kid that died. Um,
I mean,
but
you learn it like shortly after that scene.
shortly after that, but with the initial, but Annie basically does hoodoo and basically does herbs and protect stuff and sells protective herbs to the community. And you kind of get that dialogue when he tells her, then why did the herbs save our baby?
Right.
Because she's like, maybe my hoodoo's been saving y'all from getting y'all's ass kicked this entire fucking time. I've been
Yeah.
praying every fucking day.
Yeah.
And this,
And then he's like, "Well, why didn't it work on my baby?"
exactly.
I don't know.
Tell you right now, I said this multiple times. Him and fucking Stack's little speeches, similar speeches to their women, gave me so much fucking PTSD. The whole, the why leave? What do you want? I love you and I miss you. They both said the same thing. I was like, you
Mhm.
fuckers.
Mhm.
I've been through that so much.
Uh huh.
You fucking PTSD.
I just love how when they were at the train station, when that it was Stack, right? I always get them mixed up.
Yeah.
Stack, yeah, Smoke was with Annie, Stack was with Mary. And when Stack is there and Mary pulls up and she's like, "Is that Stack?" And
Or
he's like, "What are you doing here?" Da, da, da. And he's like, "I told you I hated you." And she's like, "Yeah, well then you stuck your tongue in my coos." Fucking
especially
perfect delivery. Haley Stanfield. Props to you, my girl.
that's where I had the biggest
Oh, that's great.
Dax for thing because he was just like, and I told you to stay the fuck away from me. I've had that one too. I've had that conversation
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
fucking recently.
Mhm.
So, anyways, so then, so all right, just ignore it. So Annie and them have they have a sex scene right after that, and I was like, yes, get it. He pounded that girl behind her dress, and he's
Yeah.
fine. And Annie's a plus size girl, so you know that dick was good.
Mhm. Listen, I said this to you when we watched the movie, and I have since changed my opinion.
I knew you would.
Um,
I knew you
well,
would.
it's only because of the experience that I had over this weekend. So,
Oh,
for the audience, I said in the movie, I don't believe that Michael B. Jordan has enough dick to fuck her from behind because that is a big woman. And I'm not like, I'm a big woman too. So I'm not, no shade. Like, that woman is my fucking icon. Okay.
look,
Um,
right.
she's fucking beautiful, bro. Like,
It's an amazing like. Me
just
too. That's all I can
everything
think of.
about her is just fucking gorgeous.
I want uppies.
But literally,
I want uppies.
but like, so when she bent over, I was like, nah, her ass is too fat for him to be able to fit his dick behind her. And over this weekend, I had an experience where now did I don't remember if I said this to you like on the podcast or if I said it when we were
No, you said
kikiing before, but this man was maybe like 6.5 inches, like
you said
not too crazy, but it wasn't bad. Like it was
no.
enough,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not enough for missionary. And I
Mm.
don't think like I don't think I ever thought about this before. Like, you need a lot of dick for missionary. You don't really need a lot of dick for
No,
doggy style.
you don't.
So like the back shots were great. Missionary was not. I He slipped out like 2, 3 times. I said, let me flip over. Because I'm not gonna do this all night.
No. Like I said,
So
the only reason why I
so
know
yeah,
for
so
I said it on the pod is because I had to edit that part today, and I edited that shit
so
today and I my ass off. So
so so yeah. I Michael B. Jordan, I'm sorry I doubted you.
there you go, babe. There you go.
You must have a big dick. I don't know. Well, also, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying he has a big dick. I'm just saying he has enough to put it. He probably has enough to put it behind her. So
Gotcha.
I apologize for doubting you, for trying your gangster. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Anyways,
I am fucking thing. So like we said, Stack sees Mary and he's like basically like, you're married, go home. Leave me the fuck alone. So then we meet another married woman and she's like flirt with Rick.
Perlene,
Darlene, yeah.
Perlene, that lady was a little hoe, and I love that for her because her husband was probably an asshole, but
Continue. We never got to see either one of those bitches' husbands. It's fine. And it's funny, Mary
and
got
they will never see them again.
yeah. Mary didn't care after that.
No, she
That
didn't, because she wanted Stack, so it didn't matter.
right. So while they're at the train station, they're trying to get Slim, who is a great blues singer, guitar player, and basically they bribe him with some alcohol because what he's an alcoholic.
Hmm. They
Playing in the
bribe him with some Irish beer.
right. Um, so then, while all this is going on, we get closer and closer to opening up the jute joint. We get a flash of, our antagonist.
Remick.
Yes, Remick. And I'm trying to figure out how to set this up. So basically, Remick finds some claim at his house. He's like, hey,
He happens upon.
does not happen upon. He looked for them. That was
Nah,
pretty.
he definitely was looking for them.
No, he told him they did. He said he was looking for him. So
No,
then he's like,
yeah,
hey,
no, I
I'm at
know.
his house. And he's like, I need to hide here from the engines. Like, they're gonna get me. Look how fucked up I am. I gotta come inside. So they hide him.
They took my wife, they took my money, but they didn't get all of it. And he shows them his gold.
These little Irish gold
They
coins.
left him.
They should have clocked, but they did not because they're racist and did not give a fuck. Um. So then he hides, and then the engines come. The engines come, and they're like, "Get the fuck off my property!" The engine, the woman, the wife does because she's hiding the white husband and him.
Yeah.
And the Indians are like, "Bitch, you don't know what you're
Right.
dealing with."
He
Bye.
said, he's not what he seems, but may God be with you, and I'm getting the fuck out of
But
here.
I'm giving the Negro version. Bitch, fine. So then she's like, "Whatever, bye." So then she's like, "It's getting kind of quiet. Where the fuck is my husband?" And her husband's getting chomped down by Remick. And he's like, and of course, they knew what they're doing in these movies. Because then the husband comes up.
Bro.
None of these husbands didn't love their wives. And I love that for them. Because that man comes up, he goes, baby.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Bitch, why did his voice drop like that? Like, I don't want,
Who's
I have a voice kink. You can't be doing that shit to me. That man is racist as fuck. I can't be attracted to that man's voice.
He wasn't racist.
What are we doing right now?
Apparently, when
You're
he turned.
right, you're right. They were all about unity and being kind to one another.
Well, I guess because, again,
Bitch.
once he turns into a vampire, they get connected to the main vampire and they start seeing the entire vision of how everything's bullshit. So then that's when we get that first clue that, like, oh shit, we got some supernatural shit happening here. So the juke joint opens, and right away, fuckery already happened. Like, niggas are niggering, and they don't want to pay for drinks. And Smoke's like,
Well, it wasn't that he didn't want to pay. He didn't have enough money because they pay him in wooden nickels
true.
um when he be slaving.
He gets true.
Not
But
really
it
slaving,
is like,
but
black
yeah.
you got me though, right? You got me though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You got me though. And they're like, no, you can't do that. Smoke's like, no, we're gonna lose business. And then
Yes. I think it
Smoke,
was Stack that said no. Smoke was
no, Smoke's the serious one. He was the one that's like, we're gonna lose business. Don't do it.
oh,
Stack's the one
okay.
that Stack's the one that's into marrying. He's the one that's more go free. And he's like, Smoke's the one with his head on, and he's like, no, we need to keep this business. And
You're
then
right.
Stack's like, look around, everybody's fucking having fun. And this is where we start the beginning of everything, because they're like, everybody's being free, and he's showing them, so people come here to join. And Preacher Boy, they bring out Preacher Boy to sing. And this scene alone is one of the best scenes in
Still
cinematic
every
history.
time.
In cinematic history. This isn't just for films or
Yeah,
horror.
absolutely.
We begin to see that through explanation that there's some music and there's some power in music and in DNA and music that in magic that brings people together, their culture and answers from the past, future,
Yeah.
present together through music.
It
And
transcends time. It just connects everything and everyone
it's
together.
future past. And so you get this cool ass scene where you're getting mixes of black culture music everywhere, just spread in past, future, twerkers, beatboxers, low jack music,
Guitar.
guitar, everything you can get, Afrofuturism, just every fucking thing. And they even show like Grace's ancestors, the Asian ancestors, when they're dancing through just
I
everything.
think they're Korean, yeah.
Are they Korean? I thought it was Chinese.
I think so.
They're Chinese. Koreans had
No, because when he started speaking to her later, when Remick starts speaking to her,
thought that was
he's
Mary.
speaking Korean because he said something about something to me in Korean.
Oh, I thought they were Asian. I thought
Hmm.
they said they were Chinese. Oh well, that was my bad. Maybe it was because they were talking
No
about like.
worries.
Oh, it's because no, it is. It's focused on they're Asian. They're Chinese descent.
I mean, Korean is Asian.
No, I mean, but they're Chinese in the film. That's what it says.
Okay.
Yeah, they're Chinese. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where.
Okay.
I don't know. But point being, best scene hands down. And we see kind of the building building up in flames, and we see like the scene going on, and we see Remick just eyeing him down, and that's where he starts taking interest
Yeah.
in Sammy. And you get the fact that like later on that like Remick's wanting to like connect with his own ancestors, and Sammy's kind of like the key to that. Um, because again, Remick is Irish, and during that time we have Irish immigrants, um, going through very not the same struggles as Black people, but they didn't have it very great either. Um, so that's the whole thing about being with Unity and like, and he's missing his family. And another thing that's explained by Annie later on, which is a very unique way to talk about vampires, is the fact that like you lose like your soul and you lose all sense of connection to your ancestors and your life and love, and
Yeah.
you just kind of lose all that. So you lose your sense of family, love, you just lose your soul completely.
Yeah.
So for him, it's like it's giving him a chance to be reunited with his family that he's obviously lost from somewhere. Um,
Yeah.
but, um, so they try to get in. And they play an,
Oh
insi-
my God.
an insidious number. An insidious number. It gave me the same vibes as the tiptoe through the window. Like the
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
it
And
wasn't
like it was funny, but it was creepy as fuck.
like they were
And
bad.
you know what was even more creepy when Mary goes outside and they're standing there singing? That part is even creepier.
Yeah. Um.
But yeah, when they're trying to get in, I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember the song.
I don't know.
I picked poor Robin clean.
I
I
picked.
picked poor Robin clean.
Yeah. Oh, I missed the whole part. So Mary shows up. Mary shows up, and the other
Cornbread.
no the other lady, the one that's in the preacher boy.
Perline.
But yes, cornbread. I did miss that scene where they hired cornbread for the door, and he was basically like talking about older. He's like cussing in front of his wife. He's like, "That's my wife now," and he's just like, "Fuck you and your wife.
Fuck you and fuck your wife.
Somebody give you some money, motherfucker." And Taylor basically like, "Maybe if you shut the fuck up, she'll suck your pecker. How much money he's about to get?" And she's like, "How much money you talking?"
Now hold on, how much money you talking about?
I'll suck this pecker. How much money? Because I'm tired of picking cotton today. That's not what she says. Like she came out of.
Like,
But yes,
what's he with that money about?
yes. So they're trying to get in, and because Mary obviously goes to the fulfill of that's when Stack has a conversation with her, being like, "I did this on purpose so that way you can get the fuck out. Leave us alone. You're married. You're rich. Get on. You're not supposed to be here. I love you, and I'm doing this to
Right.
protect you." And so they're trying to get in. The vampires are trying to get in, and they shoo him away pretty much. And Mary's just like, it's a bright idea. She's like, you know what? Like, you're my family. I'm gonna go see if I can get out what the fuck's going on. Because everyone's like, why can't you just let them in here? Like, well, what if something happens and like you step on their shoe or spill some water on them? Like, they're gonna have Klansmen in here. So Mary goes out to
Yeah.
see who his intentions are. Mary, this whole entire time, is back in town because her mother has died.
Her mom passed.
Mary, Mary's mom has pretty much raised and helped Smoke and Stack, and they pretty much didn't show up at the funeral because they were in Chicago and they didn't want to show up, and they had their own shit going on. Mary has a deep anger, you could tell through the film, about that whole thing. But what she's not understanding is the weight of the fact that, like, both Smoke and Stack are literally trying to separate her from them for the exact purpose of what she did. So by going out there, she's going to try to help her community, but in turn ends up really fucking the shit out of them. Because she ends up getting turned because, one, she pulls a gun on him, and she goes out there with no protection, knowing what's going on, to be intel and spy. But she's the one that initially ends up getting turned and the first vampire to go into the establishment, because she smoothly goes up there and talks to Cornbread's like, are you just gonna let me in there? What the fuck are you doing? And she gets in.
Like, get the fuck out of the way.
So by trying to help her community that's trying to kick her out, she ends up fucking the community in itself. Trying to be an ally, and look what happened. It happened. It sucks. So she basically takes another iconic line from fucking, so many iconic lines from Haley in this movie, but the next one is, you can rob banks and towns, but you can't rob this pussy.
Mm-hmm. This 8 when she did that.
That, and another one she said was just like, whenever she's like, when she doesn't know who Preacher Boy is at the beginning, and she's in the juke joint, and she's like, he's like, I'm with the Smoke twins, or Smoke and Stack with the twins. She goes, she just basically, what she say? She goes,
boy, if you don't get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, the way she said it. And Haley is like 1/4 black too, by the way. She's also mixed.
Yeah.
And she used every bit of that fourth in that movie. I'm telling you. If you don't get the fuck out of my face. So then she drags Stack into a room and basically starts riding him. And at one point, I also forgot to mention.
Ooh.
Yeah, go ahead. You can say it if you want. Go for it, because I know exactly where you're going. You can do it. I know where you're going. Go, say it.
So while she's riding him, she starts drooling, because I guess that's a tell for the vampires when they're about to feed or something, because that happened with Remick too.
Yeah.
And she starts drooling, and he's like, baby, you're drooling. And she's like, you want some? And he's like, yeah. And she spits in his mouth. Man, listen.
The amount of memes I've seen.
I am so on the fence about that happening.
I'm not.
I participated in that once. The thing that I don't like about it, like, I like the idea of it more than it in practice, because what I don't like is that when somebody spits into your mouth, their spit is cold. That's disgusting.
Why was it cold?
But
why was it cold? It's not supposed to be cold, baby girl.
I don't know. It was cold.
You're supposed to do it like right after you're.
I mean, it was cold because it wasn't the same temperature as the spit in my mouth.
Because you're supposed to do it after you're done, like, heavily making out in each other's mouths, so the temperature should be the same. You don't just do it out of nowhere.
Oh, well, that's not how that happened.
Well, now you know.
I mean, we were fucking, like, it wasn't out of nowhere.
You spit after you've been making out, so the temperatures are the same. So they're the same.
Well,
I wasn't there for you, I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't fuck that man anymore. That happened years ago. So
I would love it.
That man could die slow, and it wouldn't be slow enough.
I would laugh if you called me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Normal. I absolutely
will now.
I would love that. I'll answer your question too, and you're like, "What are you doing?" I'm consulting my score consultant. Hush. The one thing that we forgot is there's a scene where they're in smoking or stacking Preacher Boy in the car, and he's talking about how to eat someone out like an ice cream cone, and later that comes into practice because Preacher Boy pretty much eats out. What's her name again? Why can't I remember her name? The girl.
Perline.
Her name is so weird.
Perline, like a pearl necklace and then lean.
I like it.
Yeah, but I like it.
He eats her out. She's like,
oh, that's another iconic line from the movie.
Yeah.
She said, let me wash up first. And he said, you're beautiful. I just want to taste you. Boy! Oh, lay down so I can sit on your face. What?
You know I love a good eater.
I love a eater.
I'm having flashbacks. Let's continue on. Um, so yeah, that happened. That sparks her into singing, boy. She starts singing on that stage like she did get her coochie ate. Um, but
Yes.
after all that,
So
and
yeah,
then,
while she's singing on stage, Stack is dying.
yeah, because then after that, they're like, um, he smokes like, hey, go check on Sammy, and he's like, he's in there fucking no, and he's like, did I tell you? Like, go stop him. I don't give a fuck what he's doing. And then when they go in there and they see Mary's pretty much feasting,
He said, "Not by myself."
not
Yeah,
feasting,
she's feasting on that nigga.
yeah. And she comes up, and the iconic line is pretty much like, I'm about to kill all y'all. Y'all all gonna die tonight.
We
Like,
gonna kill every last one of you.
y'all. And she just sprints out. Nobody fucking stops her. And that's the
Well,
beginning.
he did shoot her, and it didn't do anything.
Well, yeah, that's the beginning of
But yeah, this is where everything starts to go downhill.
pretty much.
Oh, also, when Mary comes back in, Cornbread leaves to go to the bathroom, which
Mhm.
I don't know why the fuck he needed to go so far the fuck away to go to the bathroom. Bro, you could have just walked around the fucking wall. Like, I don't. But I feel like you just like saying Pecker. No! Let it out! Yeah, that fine ass motherfucker. Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Eat him. Oh no, he attacks that other dude later. No, that's not how he gets outside. That guy was in the. Yeah, that guy was knocked out in like the kitchen or something because remember when they were fighting before, that was the reason why they went to go get Stack when when she was fucking him, and they left him in there because then they started dealing with this problem, and then later after they get everybody out and they're eating the garlic, they find that dude and they throw him outside because they think that he's dead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. and everybody die. She literally kept running. Annie and Grace. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, before they realize that they're vampires, no, at this point they think that they're haints. But then after they kick Cornbread out, Stack wakes up and he starts begging them to let him out. And then he comes out and she throws the pickled garlic in his face, and that's when they realize that they're vampires. I really liked that part because unfortunately something is wrong with me, and the part where he was banging his head on the fucking door, I don't know why, but that was really hot to me. I said something's wrong with me. Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answers. There's just something about the look on his face or whatever, the force behind it. I have a therapist. Fine ass Irishman. Bro, and because before he didn't have an Irish accent. He had a southern accent. And I was like, whatever, it's just some random southern man. Whatever. And then he starts speaking with an Irish accent. I said, you guys, he's the villain. Why are you doing this to me? I'm only so strong. He's a vampire and he's Irish. Are you kidding me? I don't remember. He just started speaking. Maybe when he was singing, I don't know. He ain't gotta do much. Yeah. I think with Delta Slim, it was that he drank too much beer and the bubbles were having a reaction to the garlic in his nose. Oh, yeah, no, it's just I didn't realize the first time that I watched it, I didn't realize that that's what was happening to him. And I was like, what the fuck was that about? And then I watched it again and I was like, oh, the bubbles. Like, I guess it's the same as if you were had drink soda. What just happened? Um, well, this is probably gonna get cut out. I think her phone overheated. Hello. Welcome back. I can't hear you. Speak.
All right, we're
There were
back.
2 screens of you.
Oh, that's weird. All right, we are back recording. Anyways,
I don't remember where we were.
I do. So they get the garlic, they're prepping, and then they're trying to make a game plan, and Grace's husband fucking comes to the fucking door. And unfortunately for me, Selena had already seen the movie, so she was already irritated when I said this out loud because
Oh yeah.
Grace wasn't acting like this before this moment, but Grace just fucking ruined it for everybody. Grace was such a
I'm
bad.
dead.
She was a badass before that exact moment.
Yeah, she was.
But basically, Remick and
Although I'm letting you know right now, I would have fought everybody to leave with Bo. That
I,
man is so fucking fine.
I know,
I'll die. It's fine. Let's go.
I know.
I want to suck his vampire dick. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
cool.
But basically, Bo comes up and it's like, "Baby, let's go, let's go," and then
No, come on.
they're not letting
Come
her
on.
do it, and then Remick comes and is basically like, "Listen, I've read his mind. I know y'all got a little girl. Like I know you got a little girl. I'm gonna go get her. I know the way your man lets you out. Like I know everything about you.
Yeah. And
We're gonna
he's saying all of that to her in Chinese.
in Chinese." And basically, she loses her shit and tells all the motherfuckers to come get him and invites them in all in.
Come in, you motherfuckers.
Which again, they all need an invitation to come in. Now she very much invited them all to come in, and that's where all hell breaks fucking loose,
Hmm.
bro.
And bro, the thing that pissed me off about that the most is the fact that she said that, and as soon as they opened the fucking doors, she died. She was the first person to die.
Yep.
Bitch,
Who did all
you
that for
didn't even.
what?
So you did all of that for what?
Yeah.
Because now your daughter's an orphan.
You think so?
Yeah, because her dad died and she died.
I
I mean,
mean, yeah.
she might have other family, but she doesn't have parents.
I mean, yeah. Because they probably were out there like an idiots with the sun when the sun came up. So yeah, yeah,
Well,
probably.
no, but she stabbed him. That was who she took down when she died and she
I know.
caught on fire.
I know.
It
I know.
was him.
I don't know if they died by fire. Fire counted by dying. I mean, the guy from Blade lived when he got literally got lit on fire.
Well, I mean, she wasn't a vampire. He didn't bite her, so she definitely died. But he,
Died because she stabbed him for
at,
sure. Yeah, he wouldn't.
yeah,
I'm saying yeah, that made sense. But yeah, so this colossal battle pretty much happens, and before this happens, Annie tells him like, if something happens to me and I get bit, like, don't don't let
kill
me
me
breathe that
before I
fire.
turn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. And the whole, pretty much through the entire thing, we get a battle scene between Michael B. Jordan and himself, which was nice. That was cool. um, and pretty much it comes down to if he was going to kill Stack or not, and obviously he doesn't. So he lets him live because his whole thing is, they're not one, they're twins. Like they're not going to want to live without each other.
right.
Um, Sammy manages to escape, throws himself out a goddamn window. Um,
Oh my god, that shit makes my knees hurt every time.
yeah, and so the only way to end everything is to get these people on fire. So him and Remick have this huge battle in the lake, baptism style, pretty much, trying to drown him. Um, and they're like, he has a guitar with him. It's silver. He pretty much knocks him out with the silver. But that's not what kills Remick. What kills Remick is pretty much the sun coming up. And what's really a good touch is like at one point before the sun comes up, Sammy starts, saying Bible verses.
Yeah.
And Remick starts saying the same Bible verses, which proves that, like, even
Yeah.
time Christianity is not going to do anything for you in this case. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
I think what the when
But
this.
I think
Hmm,
it it also speaks to the connection through religion because um Irish people, especially at that time, were very super Christian and Catholic. I think
yep.
Catholic mostly, but so they were so it I think it was interesting because Remick was trying to create unity together and like that was what was connecting them at that moment. And I thought that was interesting.
Right.
But yeah. And
Um.
then Smoke
Not you.
stabs him
The guitar.
with a stake and then he catches on fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the sunlight, and then that kills everybody else.
The
Because
sun comes up.
everybody's
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
So basically, Sammy ends up going back. But while this is happening, we learn because Remick at one point tells them that, hey, those Klansmen, they weren't going to let you live with this one night of the Jewish time, anyways. They were going to come kill you the next day.
Hmm.
So he's like, why do you think I targeted them? How do you think I knew this information? I targeted them. I found out that information. Because that's how he found out the information in the first place.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because whenever he ate,
Because the
he bit
dude was the nephew of the
Klansman. Yeah.
what is it called? What is the Grand Dragon or some shit?
I don't fucking know. But yeah, so that's how when he bit him, he got all that information about what they were gonna do, and who they were and who the twins were. That's how he knew everybody before all that started. Slowly,
Yeah.
um,
No.
how he knew Sammy was. He knew the juke joint. Like that's how he knew everything already. Um, so the Klansmen come back to get him, and Smoke tears them a fucking new one. He uses all that military grade scene that he gets a grenade. He
Hmm.
fucking shooting niggas left and right. He has all these guns, but he does get shot. He doesn't live,
Hmm.
and he kills the guy. Basically, double taps the guy who was selling the place to him, and sits on a log, and he's ready to go. And then he sees Annie, who has crossed over and has her
With
baby
their baby.
with their baby, breastfeeding their baby, and she says, with a double entendre because he's smoking, double entendre, double meaning. She's like, take that cigarette out your mouth so you hold the baby. I don't want to get the smoke all over him. Basically saying, I don't want to, like, not just the smoke from your cigarette, but like, I don't want to get to like that negative shit that you're bringing from the life.
Don't bring yeah.
Come back into the light. It was so good. And then you
So
see,
sweet.
yeah, and then you see Sammy pull up to the church again with the guitar.
And it brings us back to the opening scene of the movie.
Right. Um, and then we get our little post-credit scene where Sammy grows up and he's still doing blues music and lives, and then Jack and Mary come visit the night clothes, which were Haley Steinfeld.
And that was like I want to say that was like 1983-ish.
I don't know, because it was like, I don't know if it was, because that was more of like, it looked like in living color and with the fade.
Hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm saying early 80s, late 90s.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what I said, 1983.
oh, yeah. Um, and they pretty much, he plays one last song for him, and they're like, we can change you. And he's like, he's pretty much like, no. Um,
He said, "I think I've seen enough."
Yeah, no. And he's pretty much like, that was the best day of my life, wasn't it? He's like asking me, he's like, wasn't that the best day of our life though? Like we were free. And they do montages of people dancing. And he's like, yeah, and Stack says, that's the last time I saw my brother. That's the last time I saw the sun. That was the best day of my life.
Yeah.
And again, Mary didn't go back to her husband. She could have changed her husband. She said no.
No, because and that I wanted to mention this and I forgot, but when they're arguing about their relationship and he's saying like I left for you so that you could get away from what I had going on. I
Yeah.
wanted a better life for you. And she's like, "But I didn't want that. I wanted you. I wanted to be black." And that is probably the one thing
That you
that
didn't
I
like.
really hated about anything that she said throughout the whole entire movie.
Yeah.
Because, and don't get me wrong, like,
You know what
she
you meant.
has blackness in her, but to say I wanted to be black, that just, I don't know, that should just rub me the whole entire wrong way. Like,
Yeah.
I just didn't, I understood what she was saying, but I think that was also like a testament to how, like, as much as she is a part of that community, she's also on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was intense, but it was good.
That was, yeah, that was like the one, that was
So
the
I got
one thing that I did not like about her character is that she said that. But
yeah.
it made sense, and I think it was necessary for her character to say something like that because I think it was, um, what's the word I'm looking for? It was genuine,
Yeah. Well, she did. She considered these people her family.
authentic.
So when she said that, I meant as she wanted to be a black person per se, but she wanted to be with the community,
Yeah,
and it just came wrong.
but yeah,
There was a couple things I
but
did want to
yeah.
go over. Um,
Okay.
because we did want to cover. We did want to give this movie justice during Black History Month, Black History Month, Juneteenth, and everything else like that. Um,
Black Music Month, yeah.
the Black Music Month because I'm tired as hell. Um, where is it? We covered like the Irish struggle. Um, where the fuck is this thing? Hold on, give me just a second. Um, I don't like getting things off BuzzFeed, but like I like getting to eat some East. I don't mind getting like Easter egg shit from BuzzFeed because it's not as cringy.
That's
Um,
valid.
yeah, these are just Easter egg things. Um, so like you said, um, the consultants that he used to like do the do everything too were actually real life twins as well. So they consulted real life twins on how they
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
yeah, and their real names are Elijah and Elias, by the way, in the film.
Oh shit. Oh,
Yeah,
you mean Smoke and Stack or the people that they had playing
no, yeah, that's the
the
real name.
consultants? Oh
Uh,
yeah, I knew that.
yeah, they're the twins were Logan and Noah. Um,
Oh, I thought that's why I was like, oh shit, I thought they were also named Eli and Elijah. I was
yeah,
like, oh,
and I did watch.
Elias.
I had watched a bunch of movie reviewers watching this movie, and they didn't get why Annie like was in Mississippi. I'm like, this movie was shot in Louisiana, by the way. It wasn't shot in Mississippi, but it's set in Mississippi, but it was
Yeah.
Louisiana.
But
Um,
also black people moved all the fuck around. What do you mean?
for real, for real. Especially in that area in the South, like in general, it's just
Hmm.
like people got to realize during that time, the Jim Crow time, like just because everybody was free, like a lot of people dispersed, especially during that time. They were like black people are free. They're not free. They didn't know where. A lot of people are still confused on where to go, what to do.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
this film had a lot of cultural historical things that black people have missed, and that was about my really biggest pet peeve about a lot of things that people weren't paying attention when they did watch this film. That the director put a lot of thought and research into the time period, and that was one of the things. I'm like, if you would have
Yeah.
paid attention and like understood history, that like even down to like the um the whole culture of it was very immersive and like and it
Yeah.
that really irritated me about like people that actually went to watch it. They were so distracted by just like the idea of vampirism. It's just like this movie was very well done as far as like historically speaking.
Yeah.
Like the costuming, like this is the 1930s. They probably made their own clothing. Like this wasn't during slavery. This was right after slavery. People are still trying to figure out. It's a very fucked up time.
Yeah.
Nothing has been solved. Nothing is. There's still so much tension, and I don't know. It's just the director did a lot of research and like consulted real life twins. Literally consulted like a hoodoo priestess for Annie's character. Like it's just really well done. Really well done.
Ryan Coogler did his big one with this, really. He really did.
He did like. Um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I don't want to go too much into it because we are very past time here. Um, but yeah, what made you feral about this movie?
A few things. The mouth spit scene,
Oh,
the
of course.
mouth, this, um, Remick when he was Irish.
the whole time,
Um,
the whole time he was Irish,
yeah. um, um, Annie,
just as a character in general. Yeah, I agree.
just, yeah. I want to be her when I grow up. You know what I mean? Like,
Um,
well, I mean, well, maybe not really because she's dead, but, um,
great.
but
I don't know. Like I said,
you know what I mean?
representation is so important, and it was nice to have someone that was that character who was
Yes.
not just plus size, but like you don't
She
have.
was the love interest. And there were a lot of people on the internet saying that she wasn't the love interest. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They literally fuck on screen.
He literally said he loved her.
Like,
Literally said he loved her.
literally.
She literally
Literally.
the only reason why they knew what the fuck was going on. She was the hero in the story. Shut the fuck up. You can have more than one heroine. Her and Mary. Mary wasn't even a heroine.
Right.
At the end of the day, Mary wasn't even a heroine. She was a
So, yeah.
Mary was a love interest. Annie
Yeah.
Annie was a protagonist and main love interest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
that's the difference. Put some
Yeah.
respect on the name.
Okay. Um, yeah. Bo's fine ass made me feral. I'm telling you.
I know.
I wouldn't have let the vampires in, but I would have made them let me out.
To be turned.
Yeah, I wanted to become a vampire since I was like 14.
You know what's funny though? You know what I think about? Them niggas was doing that jig for no just because it was fun. He didn't have mind.
Yes, exactly.
He didn't. He didn't have
They
mind.
were just doing that shit because it was fun.
They didn't have mind control over them.
No,
He didn't have mind control over them. They were just doing that shit for fun. Jack was loose at that entire time.
that's what made it creepy because what the fuck? Also, where did you learn this song? When did you have time to learn this choreography?
They already shared it in here. They share each other's memories and thoughts and motor skills.
Creepy as fuck.
That's how they learned
Okay.
music. That's how they learned the music. Is because, like you saw when he learned Chinese, they learned their own
Yeah.
languages and they share unity. They
Yeah.
share things. Yeah, that was a nice little detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But also that music scene, and then the scene even when they were doing the Irish dancing in the fire pit or whatever, and Cornbread was like,
That was fucking hilarious. I would have loved on that set that day. I would love to be on that set that day.
I know they had the best fucking time on that set.
They had to have. They had to have.
Yeah. But yeah, what made you feral?
Um, definitely the jig. Definitely the jig got me. Um, I felt the same way about you. I'm just like the spitting scene didn't make me feral, but I just like it definitely did something to me. Um, the dancing scene, the ancestral scene for the past future that took me to a whole nother
Yeah.
to begin with. So that was definitely made me feral.
It gave me very deep chills.
It definitely did, like for sure. Um, and then I guess in a very toxic way, Smoke and Stacks speeches about the "I love you" and "I miss you." Is that what you wanted me to say? Because I've been there.
Yeah.
Very toxic way. Yes. That,
Because also, yes, that's what I want you to say. What the fuck do you mean?
yeah, I know. It's just very
That's
toxic.
why you said it, because you knew that's what I wanted you to say. Don't ask questions that are dumb like that. Don't do that.
The amount of times I've been with the same person doing the same shit, saying the same sentence, is and go
Mm.
do hot sex afterwards. It's just too much. Too much. But yeah. So we already know. I'm rating this movie 10 out of 10. There's no
Yeah,
way.
10 out of 10, absolutely.
It may change over time, but right now it's a
Absolutely.
10 out of 10.
As somebody who's seen it 4.5 times,
That's changed.
uh, It's not gonna change for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
solid 10 out of 10. Honestly, I like it more and more each time I watch it.
Because you find out more and more things, and you get engaged more and more.
Yeah.
It grows on you. But yeah,
All right.
that's it. So next,
That's it for this month, y'all.
y'all aren't getting shit until probably the second week of July. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. We're about to go on
Oh
vacation.
yeah, no, we're not. Yeah, but you're gonna get like some probably a little bit extra like different content here and there. Maybe not on YouTube or anything, but like
I'll put it on the YouTube
we're
channel.
going on a road trip. We're going
To the
to the
beach.
beach.
4th of July. We're doing a whole bunch of.
It's my birthday, so
What's your
we
sign?
going outside.
Cancer. Hey.
Cancer, gang, gang. Okay.
Yeah. So
So yeah,
we're gonna be filming content for we're gonna be filming the podcast while we're there. We already announced it. We're gonna be doing both of Nevessa's books. So we're gonna try to get those out when we get back, but we're not gonna get them out. But we're gonna both do those
yeah.
movies yet. We'll decide those soon. Because
So
I know Selena wanted to do Scream for hers because it's her birthday, but we also have been listening to you guys, and you guys have specifically been putting on RG that you wanted to do books that were based off the horror movies. And unfortunately, there's a really good book that's apparently based off of Halloween and Scream. So we don't want to double back. I know. I'm so sorry. I know. That would have been the movie. Would have been Scream because that is one of
I
her.
mean, listen, there's multiple Scream movies, so we don't necessarily have to watch the first one for my birthday.
Oh goodness gracious, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I mean, also, we can just watch Scream on my birthday, and
I
it
mean,
doesn't need to be for the podcast.
content wise, yeah, we're probably gonna
Yeah,
watch Scream on your birthday. It's gonna happen most likely.
yeah.
Um,
But, I mean, at some point, we're going to be covering the movie on the pod, so it doesn't, I don't care when we do it.
yeah,
But,
but we are listening.
yeah.
But this was
Yeah. So if you guys have any other requests or suggestions, just let us know in the comments on Instagram or on YouTube or wherever you listen. We're all ears.
and if you specifically know the names of those two books, by the way, please let us know so we don't have to do research.
Make our lives easier.
You see my hair right now? I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. So thank you
All
guys.
right. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in. Stay feral for us, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
What a good girl.